Not the one that
little
Elvio did, the little one, because the little light's on.
Got it.
Thank you. I
Done.
appreciate it. How
You're
you doing,
welcome.
baby?
I'm doing. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, my love. It is Wednesday, October 28th.
Yes, live, 10 a.m.
We are here. I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. Then let's get it going.
Hello, friends.
And I made a mistake.
Like, hello, friends. Hold on, friends. Just a moment, friends. Hey, we're doing it live.
We're doing it live, and I did a big boo-boo.
We're doing it live. It's all good. It's all good. I like these behind-the-scenes moments.
I mean, it was stupid of me. I can't believe I forgot to do that, but, it happens.
It happens. Hello, friends.
Welcome to the Couple Shift.
I'm Maria Aleandra.
And I'm Jules.
And we are a husband and wife team on a mission to shift the way we live our lives and co-create what really matters.
We don't always agree. We don't, but together, we're figuring it out.
Thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here.
So, my bad there. That was a really dumb mistake by myself.
Beautiful, babe. Beautiful.
But yeah, hey, this is what it is. This is why we like live, right? Mm-hmm. We'll do it live.
We're doing it live.
So, you feel good physically?
Oh, yes, I do. And when you have that little just a something physical, it makes zero sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I was like, what?
No, like when you feel like you're coming down with a tiny bit of a cold, but I'm not.
But it's COVID season and all, and so
right. So no, but I got when I got back in the house this morning, I was like, babe, I'm not getting sick.
I got a little tickle.
I got a little tick. No, it's not even a tickle. It's nothing in my throat. It's nothing. Nothing.
I find it hilarious how not hilarious, but well, yeah, I do. That nowadays you get a cough or a cold, you're thinking
contagion.
It's the contagion. I mean, I know this is what I'm not making fun of that, yeah, no. But it's just, I'm just saying it's like now it's something. In the past, you used to have a cough or a runny nose. You're like, man, whatever. Who cares? Now it's like, is it something bigger?
Is it the COVID?
It's crazy. I mean, you should. I guess you definitely should be thinking about that. But
yeah, well, I feel fine. It's just when there's this like something in your body that you're like,
you can't get it out,
and then that prompted us to come up with one of our favorite jokes from
oh my gosh,
Family Guy.
So in Family Guy, great episode where he is telling, who was he telling? I forgot what he did. He's like, I cannot get sick.
It's an office environment.
And
Peter's playing like a lady in an office.
He was playing a lady in an office, and he's like, I cannot.
Got a cubicle.
He's typing and he's sneezing. He's like, oh, like weak. And then another lady comes by and she goes, you need to go home.
Yeah.
Like, no, I cannot get sick. There's the baby shower and the move, and then he's
it's like, I cannot get sick, and he's got these like nails.
And then as he's walking out of the office, a secretary sneezes, and he screams at her, "You did this to me!"
Yeah.
Such a great.
And
episode.
It's really, if you've ever worked in an office environment,
I cannot get.
Oh,
sick.
The characters, the cast of characters. So hello to everybody who is watching. Hello to everybody who is listening. So many amazing new listeners popping in from all over the world. And every time we see the analytics, Jules and I are like, oh my God, this is amazing. So really, really thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for subscribing, for sharing, for commenting.
Keep it up.
And
keep it coming.
So today's topic is all about making decisions as a couple. Dum, dum, dum. And so I thought we could do this in the spirit of sharing some of the ways that we work together to make decisions. And originally I started thinking like business decisions because I was listening to a business podcast this morning in the car.
Oh.
As you do. # entrepreneur life.
Oh boy. That just went there.
Uh-huh. Let's forget that happened. And I was like, oh.
Too late.
And I was like, oh, it would be interesting for Jules and I to talk about, since we've been working together, how we make decisions. Because I do come to you often. I'm a very kind of self-driven and I'm like a a self-generating machine, right?
Yeah,
I come
sure.
up with
yeah,
my
yeah.
stuff, I take action, and then sometimes I'll like update you on things, but sometimes I'll really come and be like, help me make a decision on this. And then of course that brought me to
I'm a good worker bee.
Bigger picture. But you're also very good at for me to bounce ideas off of, and you give me another perspective.
Yes.
And I think you do the same with me when you're making decisions.
Yeah.
And so I thought, and then of course, bigger picture, there's other decisions that we've made recently with renting the house, everything. And so I thought it would be a nice theme to talk about some, and maybe we
tips and decision making.
Yeah, maybe like the ways that have worked for us, and maybe even some things that we've noticed do not work at all. That could be fun.
Yeah, number one, I don't know if you should listen to us. No.
He said this earlier when we were like,
and then
starting to toss the idea.
So, and this is, and I said it kind of like that, yeah. And her response, she laughs.
Yeah.
This is the thing I find weird. She laughs and then walks away and then kind of makes it sound like when I say, "Oh, I was just making a joke," and she kind of makes it sound like, "Oh, that wasn't funny." I'm like, "But you already laughed, so it is actually funny."
But that wasn't my reaction.
I know, but that's what I heard.
It was more like my brain realized, not my brain realized. I thought you were being, I knew you were being sarcastic.
You thought I was being facetious?
I thought you were just... when you throw those big words.
So esoteric, right?
Oh, boy. Let's keep it PG.
I don't know if I told you that.
Let's keep it PG.
I told you this, but ever since that episode where you
episode that we never aired.
The esoteric. So there was an episode where she said, not that we never aired. I think we just edited it out.
No, we never aired.
We never aired that one. Maybe we should.
It's in the vault.
It's in the vault. Anyways,
you know what? When we hit how many subscribers?
When we start getting a Patreon and everything, we'll put it on there.
1,000 subscribers, we'll release a couple of episodes from the vault.
So, anyways, she said the word esoteric, and she was trying to explain what it. I was like, "What the hell does that even mean?"
Yeah.
And she's trying to explain it, and then later on, she felt that she got the definition wrong or whatever. And so she didn't. I mean, it was more.
It's one of those like I know what it means, but I didn't define it well, and I got really hard on myself.
Yeah, and she was worried about something who cares.
I went down a rabbit hole of perfectionism and analysis paralysis. And
be careful, you might say another big one.
So, but now every time, and of course, he's been hearing the word esoteric
everywhere. But I swear to God,
because that's what happens. You become aware of a word, and then all of a sudden it's everywhere.
I've heard Adam Savage on his YouTube channel use it. I've heard it in other podcasts. I've heard it on TV, and it's like before my wife even uttered those words, I never heard that word being uttered at all. I swear, never have I heard it. And so it's all of a sudden, and then I tell her, "Oh, look, listen." And all of a sudden, the video I'm showing her, the person says it. And it's just one of those things like, when did this word become popular? It's crazy. But
it's because it's in your awareness.
It's in your awareness. I did find that, I don't know if I mentioned it here. Did I mention it here once? Recently? What is it? What's the dictionary company? James Webster? Is that one? Is it
Merriam-Webster?
Merriam-Webster. I don't know why I said James. Well, I was half right. Merriam-Webster came out with this app where you can search the first time a word is actually published, like written down in a formal.
Oh no, you mentioned it to me. We haven't talked about this on the podcast.
So
I didn't know that existed.
It was something I had found out, and you can go to whatever year you want and just find out when a word was first used in literature or in publication or whatever.
Yeah.
For the public consumption, I guess. And it's pretty cool because as you go down the years closer to modern day now, right? Mm-hmm. There have been less and less words, kind of. So I looked at when my mom was born and the amount of words and the things that were actually written down, which I found interesting, that was ahead of its time, I guess. Like the way we use it, like some of the words. I right now, nothing pops in my mind that's super, super obvious. But point being, it's just a really interesting little app that a dictionary company came out with. To be honest, it's pretty smart because people in this day and age, they're always looking for that kind of content. Like for some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I want to click. What Avenger am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I thought it was pretty interesting.
I like it. I gotta check it out. You told me about it, and you told me the word from when I was born. I forget what it was, but
it's in the text somewhere.
Yeah.
I told you a couple words. I thought they were pretty funny.
I've been feeling like we need to have a word of the year. Not word of the year. Yes.
What?
For next year. A word of the day. Like every day we do the podcast.
And have a word?
Have a word, yeah.
What is this, Mr. Rogers?
The word of the day is...
I mean, this ain't Sesame Street, man.
The word of the day is esoteric.
You know what? You surprise me.
Yeah.
Each day with a new word that I have not heard. How about that? Don't make it a word of a day. You surprise me with a word I've never heard.
Okay.
So you're awfully spiky today.
Spiky's not the word.
No? What is it? Charged? Energized? Recharging?
More like...
Hold on, let me get a close up on this. Here you go.
More like witchy.
Oh, witchy.
More like... Yeah. Like I'm in this
brujeria,
sorceress kind of mood.
Sorceress apprentice.
And I'm wearing a black dress.
Yep.
This is why
I like it.
And I woke up and like he likes it. He likes the dress.
Yeah, I do.
And then he asked me. He said something about the dress. You were complimenting the dress, and I appreciated it. And then I said something else, and I was like, "Oh well, I'm already feeling the full moon."
And then I rolled my eyes.
Listen, let's break this down.
One of those I hear, I'm feeling the full moon, and I just go.
Yeah. Let's break this down.
Go ahead.
It's a full moon on Halloween. There's other stuff happening, astrologically speaking, but
give me the other stuff that's astrologically speaking, relative to where we are located in the universe. Go ahead, because that's what
the full moon is conjunct Uranus, which is Uranus, which is a planet of revolution and a planet of like
it's a revolution.
It's a planet of like big changes and big revolutionary thinking. And
can I give you a little science?
But like cosmic revolutionary thinking.
Can I give you a little science about Uranus?
Oh, quickly? Please, always.
That it wasn't it's pretty much theorized, and most believe it is that where it's located now is actually reverse, in the sense of that it was the order of Uranus and Neptune is backwards. They were actually, their orbits were, one was closer than the other before, basically. And
makes a lot of sense.
So, and also, as you know, it rotates like on its side, like if it's rolling down the orbit. So it must have got hit by something pretty big. So did Neptune, but not hit, like more like a whole mess of asteroids and stuff raining down on it. Whatever. Point being, what you were going to talk about Uranus and where it's located. I just find it interesting. If you go back several billion years ago, obviously a lot of things are different in the sky, but a planet's orbit is completely different than what you see now. I find that pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'll just give you some of the
That's the only fact, boring science I'm going to say.
Symbolic meanings of Uranus and why the fact that it's conjunct with a full moon. Art, science, eccentricity, change, invention, revolution, surprise, originality, sexual drive, awakening, nonconformity, inspiration, shock value, self-expression. So this is a week where, and you remember, if you pull back, was it on Monday that we did my like fire episode? That's part of what this is. Yeah. Yes, that's part of what this is.
So literally last episode.
If you are feeling a sense of revolution, a sense of FU to anything that's been in terms of conformity in your life, where you've been compromising, where you've been doing the thing that other people expect you to do.
Sure. If
you feel in any sense like that this week, you're like, wait a minute, I'm feeling this fire of like that. No more. Just go with it, because that's the energy that's here. Also, It is the second full moon in this month. The first full moon was October 1st. So that means we have a blue full moon. And it's only been that there hasn't been a blue full moon in October since 1944.
Okay. What happened in 44, by the way? Do you know anything big?
Oh, I don't know.
I
don't know. We may have been in some like worldwide turmoil at the time.
Who knows? Yeah.
A little bit of that. So it's fascinating. So yeah, we have the full moon, and full moons are all about completion. So also, if there's anything, think about it again, like think about nonconformity and your own sense of self-expression, and look at those two. Like, okay, where have I been compromising in my life, and where am I ready to stretch into a new area? This is the time. This is a beautiful week to bring that into completion. So say, okay, well, what would happen if I actually fully let that go and embrace a deeper level of who I am authentically? And that might require some sort of revolutionary energy in you to like, you know?
Okay.
You feeling it, boo?
Yeah. So I have one thing I wanted to ask you, and it's a terrible joke, but I'm going to do it. So can we thank the sex drive on Uranus?
Oh, God. Wow.
Because you said it. You said it was one of the things. It's like, oh,
it is, yeah.
So Uranus helped us out there, huh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, you know,
it's such a dad joke.
It's it is incredible.
It's like
incredible dad
incredibly
joke.
Dad joke.
Yeah, I'm just reading here a couple of other things that, yeah, it says, for example, we can adopt the symbol of Uranus in creative practices like drawing, painting, mixed media, when we need to convey ourselves more clearly and require an energetic element of originality in our work.
That's good Italian water. I'm listening.
Kirkland Italian water. Thank you,
Kirkland.
Kirkland. Not sponsored, but always open to it. Oh boy, here we go.
I'm sorry.
Let's blame Uranus. That is the shock value, surprise, revolution, originality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a really, really exciting, a very powerful, potent week. We're also in Scorpio season, and Scorpio is also tied to sexuality and tied to not exclusively, but it's one of the things that Scorpio kind of represents. It's that sort of not dark, but the things that we might consider taboo, the things that we might be like underneath the surface.
So like role playing stuff.
Oh wow, that kind of episode. Welcome to the Couple Shift.
We haven't
PG-13 edition.
Tips. You know, we
haven't given any tips.
The only tip we've given is not to listen to us. How are we gonna circle back to decision making?
Well, how about this?
We do one tip today. One real tip and really focus on it.
Okay, but I'm going
Friday we can do another tip.
Are you complete there?
I'm complete.
Okay. So I'm going to use this Uranus, or you'd rather say Uranus?
No, it's Uranus. You're fine. I was just making terrible jokes.
The Uranus conversation to talk about decision making this week. Now, it may not be the best week to make. I'm kind of torn on this because I'm like, don't make huge decisions this week because there's so much like energy, like potent energy, might be feeling very polarized.
Okay.
However, it is an incredible week to, I'd say, like declare what matters to you. Like declare what matters and say, okay, well, where can I use some like the revolutionary energy in me to shift something that no longer serves me? And I think that applies to the way you and I have been making decisions these past 2 years, because we have been moving in a path of nonconformity, like less and less of the default way of thinking and more of a more revolutionary way of thinking, which people are scared of the word revolution, but it's literally just like turning something inside out. And so questioning where you are, question, like as we're rounding out the end of 2020, question how you've changed, how the things you value have changed, and what are you ready to cultivate over the next 2 months that you can bring into the new year. This is a beautiful energy this week to make that happen.
I wanted to say, when you said that don't make it big decisions, I wasn't, when you said that, don't make big decisions because of this week or whatever, the energies like you were saying about Uranus and things like that. I don't necessarily agree with that, because then you're saying that, oh, I can't make you're basing everything off of the stars and how, you know what I mean?
But see, you and I always bump into this.
I know we bump into this, but it's just
because you think I'm giving my power away to
the
star. That's how you experience it. That
okay.
When you look, I'm not saying from the perspective of, oh no, Mercury's in retrograde, which it is right now, by the way.
Oh God!
Don't do this, don't do that. No, but it's like information.
No, I know
like,
it's information.
Oh, interesting. There are times when it's just better positioned. And the thing is,
I agree with you.
The closer you get, you connect to yourself intuitively, the more you will feel into this. And so
I agree. It's just the only thing it sounded like to me at first, and then you started explaining stuff, and I was like, okay, I just want to make sure I say this though. Is that you were basing your decision making off of strictly that of
no.
the how the night sky is looking towards to us. So I know, I get it, but
what I am saying is that this energy might cause you to feel a certain like fire in you. Like, oh,
I definitely agree. There are times. Another tip would be not making decisions, especially when emotions are rampant. Yesterday was a tough day for me. You know, it was a little difficult. I had physical therapy, which usually means it's a good day, but it was difficult. I noticed I was talking with my physical therapist. Excuse me. That Italian water keeps getting up to me. Anyways, I was talking to my physical therapist, and I was breaking down. Like, I was trying to hide it from him. He didn't really mention anything, but I was a mess. I was a freaking mess. And it was because I was getting basically like taped up everywhere in my shoulder. And so because he was explaining to me because of the muscle degradation or whatever and the atrophying, my humerus, my arm, the humerus bone that, you know, slots into your shoulder, right, is being pulled up by these muscles, right? And when they atrophy, they get weaker and weaker, and so the shoulder slowly kind of like loosens. You get what I'm saying? And there's a gap, right? And so he offered to tape it up, and I think that moment when that happened, I was, you know, and so to make a decision with that kind of mindset is crazy. No, you can't do that. Obviously, a lot of things are going on, but what I did realize is once you get through that, right? Once you cycle back, that's probably, I think you're as clear as you can possibly be. You get what I'm saying? So actually, that would be a tip for me. Would be like, you know, work it through.
Like ride it. And don't avoid it.
Exactly. Don't avoid it. Ride it. And then when you get to the end, you're clear and your mind is a little bit more open. That would probably be the best times to make decisions.
I just got chills, yeah.
So how'd you like that?
I love that.
You like that?
I do
because
like
I think at first you were like, where's he going with this?
No, and I love the fact that you were sharing where you were yesterday. But I love that.
You guys want to see my shoulder? Look at all taped up. So I'm gonna get it like a neoprene, what's it called? Sleeve thing. So it's literally tape is pulling up my shoulder into my my humerus into my shoulder blade.
Yeah.
So
my warrior.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday was rough, man. I was telling a couple of buddies of mine, I was like, it's you know, it's like painting a rusted car, you know, not treating the metal, you're just painting it over. What I mean by physical therapy. I love physical therapy because I always feel better when I get out of it. But for my condition, it's the analogy I have is painting a rusted car. You're just covering it, and that may seem like it's better for a little bit, but the fact is the rust is going to come through and chip away and break down. So sorry to bring it down.
Yeah. No, it's just all of it.
It's all of it.
No, but I love bringing it back to that beautiful analogy. It's like you ride the wave, don't avoid the wave, right? Ride it. You got to trust that, like, the turmoil that might happen and seek support, right? You don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing, you know. you cannot do this alone. You know, one of the great things about yesterday was at night we got to speak to our therapist, and that really helped me, go full circle yesterday,
and even
and look back.
And I'll share, and I'll say this is more behind the scenes, but when right before we were to sit down, we were going to sit down with Tom together. You looked at me and you were like, do we have to do this? And I could see and I could feel, because I've been there in those moments where I don't want to look at it. And I was
in like turtle mode, like just hiding my shell, and I don't want to be bothered.
Like, I don't really want to do this. And I could feel in that moment. And because I know you, I know when to like pull back and be like, all right, babe, give space. And then in that moment, I was like, the best way I can show up for my husband right now is to help him get his butt in that seat, start the session, because this is going to support us.
Isn't that kind of another tip on decision making, where it's like when you can see your partner?
Yes.
You know your partner best, right?
Yes.
So, making decisions to persevere or to hold back or sit
and to
back.
Trust yourself. Like in that moment, like I can't put myself in his shoes because I don't know. He's having his experience. So it's not about controlling his experience.
Right.
But I dove in very quickly and I was like, okay, I get to trust myself. And, when I said that to him, he gave me a look of like, it was like, and I was like, no, we're moving through with this. I'm trusting that this is what's.
She was right.
But I could have just been in order. And that's the other thing about decision making is we sometimes, we want to people please. We want to make we want to make the other person comfortable. So I could have said, it's okay, baby. I'll sit with Tom today and you can sit with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, that could have been. And for a moment it flashed in my head and I was like, oh, let me let him rest because he has had a tough day. And I was like, no. Deep breath.
This is what I needed.
This is what we get to do today together.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we ordinarily sit separately. Like I see Tom, and then he sees Tom, and then about once a month we chat together. But for this session in particular, it would have been my time with him. But I had already asked him, even without what happened yesterday, I had already asked him, can we do a couple session? And I was like, this is all happening how it's meant to. So trusting yourself as you're making decisions and knowing that it's not about controlling the other person or controlling the outcome, but having the courage to stand for that thing you feel is true. And I think this happens to a lot of women, ladies, when we're making decisions and we are looking at everybody else to please, to appease, to not rock the boat, to not ruffle feathers, to not prick and we lose out, and everybody around us misses out because we aren't allowing our own sense of trust and our intuitive knowing to make things better. And could we make mistakes along the way? Of course, and we will. Hello. I had to make the decision of this could be a disaster. Jules could be upset at me for the rest of the night. Like, oh, you made me do this. And I was like, I'm willing to pay that price because I felt like that would be the right thing. And that's the other, when what are you willing to do that you're willing to pay the price? Which when we think about, again, going back to that revolutionary energy, that energy of, are you just going to sit there and compromise, or are you going to go for the thing that you know to be true, even if you are ruffling feathers and rocking the boat and it gets really uncomfortable for you and potentially for other people, because other people might be like, I don't know why you're doing this and this is not good. But at the end, it actually it's it is. There's a reason for it.
I love how this totally went full circle, right?
It did.
So many different emotions. Do you have any other tips, baby? Or do you want to? I think I'm tipped out.
You're tipped out. No, I'll just say, obviously communication is super key.
Yeah. No.
Understanding each other's language of making decisions is really important. Like I have a certain DNA of how I make decisions, and Jules does too. So the more we understand how we both come at, information helps, because then we can meet meet in the middle.
To be open-minded on how different people.
And another tip, and I'll finish with this, is a really practical one. And I learned this when I did my leadership training, and it's something we use all the time. It's a little phrase, but it could save your life and your marriage.
Oh,
it's when, instead of telling, we're having a conversation and I'm telling Jules, you did this, or you use the phrase, my experience of you is.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I hated this because there was a period where she was using that stuff.
Yeah, right when I was in the thick of training, I was like, it was very annoying.
My experience of it, my experience. I'm like, I don't want to give you my experience. It was
and
so.
One day he told me, he's like, do not say that ever again.
Yes.
Please.
I did.
I remember it was a dinner
I said,
time.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore.
And then I would say probably
work.
like a month later. I didn't say I like.
I think it was because I
honored
I think it was because you saturated the house with your experience.
Oversaturated the airwaves.
So if I hear it once in a while, I'm like, okay, I can handle it.
No, but hold on, because you use it a lot.
Yeah, because I understand it now because I can see why it doesn't. Yes, it's better than you.
And it creates a certain neutrality around the situation. So, let's say you're trying to make a decision, and your husband, partner, colleague, friend is like, blah, blah, blah. No. Instead of being on the attack, and saying, so my experience of you right now is that you're frustrated and you're not understanding what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. Let me try this again.
And it's not like, oh, I'm just going to replace the word you, because you're still saying you in my experience of you. Think about it.
Yeah,
but it's more of like my observations,
my experience of you,
of what. Yeah. I get it. It's not like you're telling them straight up, you are doing this. And I go, no, from my eyes, this is what I feel.
Exactly.
Is what more like it.
Exactly. So that's a good one, I think, especially if you're caught in a space where you're at an impasse of not being able to make a decision or something in partnership with someone. It's a great way to neutralize the conversation and not make it about it's not personal. It's I have my experience. He has his experience. And so when we use that language, and that's why I'm always like, language is so powerful, because it is this technology for us to understand each other better and feel like we are coming into a,
coming to America.
Oh my God. Wow. On that note.
As usual, people, please rate, review, and subscribe. Baby, I love you.
I love you, baby. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening and watching. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.